Welcome back, Embers, or if you're new here, my name is Stone, my pronouns are they, them, and today we're finally, this is probably on time for you, but for me, we're finally doing my update for Pan Those Palettes. Do I have my other palette here? Yes, I do. So, if you don't know, I am panning two palettes. I'll leave the playlist down below. I've been panning both of these palettes all of last year, and I'm continuing this year. So this is where we're going to start with my Divina palette. And for my Divina palette, my goal is there are 4 shades in this palette that I want to use 15 times each. Last year, I used every shade 5 times each, but this year I just wanted to focus on 4 specific shades. There we go. I just needed to pull up the right one. And so this is what my palette is looking like. And the 4 shades that I want to use 15 times each are these 4. So this green shimmer, this green, this gold, and this like dark purple shade. And I'm going to have a picture up of this palette and we'll talk about how many times I used each shade. So I figured out at the beginning of the year in my intro that all I need to do is have 5 uses between all of these shades every month, and then every shade will have 15 uses by the end of the year. So that's my goal for every month, is to get 5 uses on between all the 4 shades that I'm working on. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notebook. So the first shade I used is Parthenos, which is the green shimmer, and I used that 1 time. Patina, the green matte under it, I also used 1 time. The gold Majesty that's underneath Patina, I used twice this month, and the shade on the right of that, and the last shade in this palette that I'm working on, that dark wine shade, I used once. So I used every shade I wanted to once, and then Majesty twice, for a total of 5 uses between all of these shades. And I did end up using each of these shades once, which is great. So yeah, that's my little goal for that met. And then next month, it's obviously February now. So I think over this month, I might try and get my uses on the 2 bottom shades, that dark wine red and the gold. I feel like those are going to look really nice for this month. But we'll see what I end up doing with that. And now on to my most exciting part of this update. This one I am using to actually pan every shade in this. This is the Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. You can tell it's old because some of the gold writing has worn off on it. And this is what this palette looked like last month. And then this is what this palette looks like this month. So I'm going to put up pictures and we're going to go through all the shades that I used this month. So every month I have 2 focus shades. And this month, I believe those focus shades were the Deep and Lagoon. And the first shade I used in this palette is actually the Deep. I ended up using this 4 times this month, which for me is really good. I don't wear makeup all that often, and so 4 uses for 1 shade in a month is great for me. It definitely has a dip now, but I did not hit pan on this particular shade. The next shade I used is Tropics. I used Tropics 1 time, and as you can see, I did end up hitting a pan on Tropics. So when I pick 2 shades to focus on, I don't necessarily need to hit pan on those shades to switch over to using my next palette. I just want to hit pan on some shades. And as you can see by the single use that it took me to hit pan, Tropics was very, very close to hitting pan last month. And I'm very excited that I hit this pan. It's kind of a small pan. It's not huge, but I am still excited to have pan nonetheless, and I'm sure I will be using this shade at some point throughout the year to expand it a little bit. The next shade I used is Lagoon, which was my other focus shade. And as you can see, I hit a tiny little baby pan on Lagoon, which is kind of crazy to me because I'm pretty sure I had a dip on the Deep and I didn't really have one on Lagoon. But I think because a lot of the looks I do are, I'll take my crease shade from the edge all the way into my inner corner is what I've been doing lately. And so I think that way I managed to just use a lot of Lagoon every time I used it. And by using it in the inner corner, I was using my smallest brush, and I would also do it under my eye. So I use a lot of the crease shade that I end up using. So I used Lagoon 5 times to hit that pan for a total of 19 uses, which is pretty consistent with how long it takes me to hit pan normally. And I forgot to say this, but in Tropics, I hit pan for a total of also 19 uses. So 19 uses to about 25 uses is what normally it takes me to hit pan on something. So those are right within those uses. The next shade that I used was Cocoa, and I used that twice. And actually what I ended up doing is mixing Cocoa with Lagoon. I ended up actually using a little bit more of Lagoon than Cocoa. Because Cocoa is such a warm, rich brown, I ended up, using Lagoon to kind of make Cocoa more my hair color, which is kind of a much cooler dark brown, and mixing them together actually made a perfect eyebrow shade for me. So I ended up doing my eyebrows twice, and that's how I used that shade. The next shade I used is Tan Lines. I used Tan Lines 3 times, and I used it all 3 times as a blush. It is such a pretty blush color. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. The next shade I used is Sand, which already had a pan on it, but I used Sand an additional 2 times. And yeah, the pan is big on Sand, and I love to see it. The next shade I used, let me look, is Pearl. Pearl, again, already had a pan on it, but I used it an additional time this month just to lighten up the inner corner of something. After that, I used Blue Moon, which is a beautiful blue shimmer, 3 times. That does not surprise me because it's a blue base with purple reflex, and it looks so pretty with Lagoon and the Deep as a shimmer. So I really loved using those together. I also used Fruity once, which is a purple. I used that once. I also used Lilac, which already had a pan on it, 1 more time. After that, I used Black Beach, the black shade, 1 time. Sorry, I'm trying to speak so fast because I'm realizing that I don't have a lot of light. Like, I'm lit decently well, but my background's not doing so hot, so I'm trying to get this done before the light completely goes out on me. So yeah, I ended up hitting 2 pans, which was my goal. If you don't know, my goal with this palette is to hit 2 pans, in January. February, this month, I'm going to be trying just to hit 1 pan. And like I said, I always have 2 focus shades. And so my focus shades for this month are Pink Lily and Rose Pink. I just need to pan one of them. I think it's going to be Pink Lily if it ends up being one of those 2. I don't see any other pinks that are, because I'm going to be using these for Valentine's Day / my birthday, I don't see anything in that kind of pink realm that has a bigger dip. So I think it is probably going to be Pink Lily. I used it today, but today does not count because we are in February when I'm filming this. But I think that's going to be the one I hit pan on. And let me just swatch these. So these are the 2 colors. So you have this bright pink. I'm using both of them actually. you have this really bright, fun magenta pink, and then this really pretty pinky, pinky pearlescent shade that's a little bit more pink than pearl, and it leans a little bit more pink and a little more, it has a gold reflect, whereas pearl has more of a like a blue shift. So this one's definitely more appropriate for like a warm toned look, a pink look, but it's actually really pretty. And I'll try and take pictures. I'll try and swatch this out before I edit this and take pictures in better lighting, but this is what it looks like. Ooh, yeah. They're really pretty colors, and I'm very excited to use them for the rest of the month. And with that, before my lighting completely dies out on me, I'm gonna go. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you for next month. I'm so excited that my first month went well, and I will see you guys later. Bye.